even in neighborhoods where you would normally feel safe. People being forced out of their cars either at gunpoint or by threat, and thieves hopping off and driving into that car and taking off. Just yesterday, we covered the carjacking of an off-duty CPD officer. But what should you do if you find yourself in this situation?
Yeah, we want to bring in licensed private detective John Frycek to talk more about this. Thank you so much for coming in.
Ladies,
you know, that story made headlines, and then I want to share something also. One of our coworkers, Lou Canellis, had his wife not far away from there, same Sheridan and Diversey, I believe, same situation. They don't know if it's the same guys, but very close. They surrounded her car, and they were banging on the window, trying to open the door, and then when the light turned green, they stood there like daring her to run them over. What do you do when you're in a situation like that?
Well, it's a very unfortunate situation, especially for him and his wife to go through that. You understand something. People are trying to take advantage of our good faith system.
Right.
And when you're in a nicer vehicle, you're pretty much of a mobile ATM. Okay, and they're going to take advantage of it. Luckily, with modern cars, doors are always usually pretty much locked. But with the advent of that said, if someone's going to bang on your window, they're going to bring up a knife, or for that matter, they're going to bring up that's representative of a gun. Don't have tunnel vision and completely panic, because the odds of them using that is just to get you intimidated, to get you to comply, especially if they want you out of the vehicle. Now, if you have no children in the vehicle and they really want it, and your window's halfway down.
In this case, she did, yeah.
She did. Then you have to stand your ground and fight. With that matter, drive away completely, because they're just trying to hold her and intimidate her by either a weapon or strong arm robbery. Always allow yourself a gap of at least 10 to 12 feet in front of a car if you're at a stoplight. Leave yourself an access point to get out
That's
of a
great
line.
advice.
That is great
It's very,
advice.
very important. Of course, always, if you're in a questionable area, have your windows rolled up, the air on or the heat on, have your doors locked. But don't get distracted by people rapping on your window saying, I need help, I need help. You're only allowed to call the police. You're not going to get out, unless you're an off-duty police officer or a firefighter, you're not going to render emergency assistance, because that could be a deception.
Right.
So they're knocking on the window, oh, lady,
they're
help me.
crafty, aren't they?
They're very
But
crafty.
John,
especially.
I got to ask you, let's back up here for a second. So let's go back to the incident with Lou's wife. She was driving, her baby was in the back seat, and all of a sudden this person stands in front of the car. She can't move. She's frozen. So what do? Do you drive and risk hitting this person and killing him? What do you do?
Well, here's the threat. You know, unless you're in great intimate danger to receive an a great battery or death, you're really not allowed to do that. Now, this is where it becomes very questionable. If you were armed or you had pepper spray, that sort of thing, you can't just run a person over. That's not going to make it. And now, if you're in intimate fear of your life and they're brandishing a knife and they want to gain entry to your car, or they have a gun and they want to shoot through the window, well, then by all means, you have the right to defend yourself. And for that being said, you could run them over if you feel like your life is being threatened.
Well, one of the things, too, that these carjackers do, and I've reported on this, is that they will do this bump little incident. Explain that, and what do you do if this happens to you and you're driving on a road?
Sure. The bump and stump. They're going to do that. They're going to bump you, and they think you're willingly going to come out of the car to assess your damage, and then you might become a victim of a secondary point where a crime's going to commit. They could either take you, kidnap you, put you in a trunk, or rob you right there and then. Because remember, you have your wallet on you, you have credit cards on you, it might be a Friday or Monday, you might have some cash on you. They're looking at an opportunity, like I said, taking the good faith system into act.
Yeah.
And they're going to rob you right there. Don't get out of the car. Go to a lighted gas station. Go to a police department. I would crack the window just a little bit and say, hey, I'll meet you at the local police department, okay? District 24,
follow
District 18.
Or not follow me.
Absolutely. Well, no, I'll just meet you there. I just say, I'm not leaving the scene of an accident, but I don't feel safe to get out of the vehicle.
Which is good.
Especially when there's plainclothes police officers maybe pretend to be, now don't take this literally, hey, plainclothes cop saying, here's my badge, get out of the car. Well, what did I do, officer?
Right.
You know, because usually plainclothes policemen won't roll you over for a traffic stop.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So always make sure, may I see identification with that badge, sir, ma'am?
And then is it okay with you? I feel comfortable. Let's drive over here.
Absolutely.
And then we'll do that. Okay,
I'm
so
complying with you, officer.
Two things I've learned. Be careful about trying to be a good Samaritan. Make sure you leave space in the front of the car and in the back of the car, so if you have to bolt out of there, you can go quickly. And then what's one final thing you would say?
Give them what they want if they got the drop on you.
Okay.
Okay? If they're not going to harm you or your children or whatever, give them them the car, because that's what insurance is for. Don't stand your ground and say, "Oh, I'm going to fight for my right because I feel violated." What is it worth? Is it worth your life?
No,
Yeah,
it's
right.
not.
It's
Give
not.
them the car, unless there's children in the car. Then stand your ground, fight for your life.
Yeah, and people should know too that these what do you call bump and stump?
Yeah, bump and stump.
Bump and stump, they work in teams. There's
Yes,
not
they do.
always just one car working on you. There's 2 or 3 people in different cars, and they're ready to jump on you. Hey, thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for
you,
That was
coming in
very
today.
good.
Great advice.
Thanks, John. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Okay, coming up on Good